Right now, somewhere in America, a stroke is happening every 40 seconds. That's 800,000 Americans every single year, and 2/3 of all stroke survivors are left with some form of permanent disability. It's the #1 cause of long-term disability in adults over 65. But here's what's extraordinary. A groundbreaking study from UCLA Health found that women who walked briskly for just 30 minutes a day reduced their stroke risk by 40%. Not surgery. Not an expensive prescription. Walking. And that's not a single outlier study. Research from Harvard Medical School, the American Heart Association, and the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology all confirm the same remarkable truth. The speed and consistency of your daily walk may be the single most powerful stroke prevention tool available to anyone over 60, and most people have no idea. Today we're breaking down the 5 research-backed strategies behind what scientists call the golden pace, the precise walking speed and daily habit that can protect your brain, lower your blood pressure, and dramatically reduce your stroke risk, starting this week. And here's something that will blow your mind. #1 on our list works all the way down to the molecular level inside your blood vessel walls. Before we begin, tell us in the comments your age and where you're watching from. We read and reply to every single comment. Now, without any further ado, let's get started. 5. The speed secret: pace matters more than distance. Most people assume that walking is walking. You put one foot in front of the other and you're done. But a meta-analysis published in PMC, pulling data from multiple large cohort studies, found something remarkable. With every single km/h increase in walking speed, stroke risk drops by a measurable 13%. That's a dose-dependent response confirmed across populations in the United States, Europe, and Japan. Here's the physiology. When you walk briskly, roughly 2.5 to 3.5 miles per hour, or about 100 steps per minute, your heart rate climbs into the moderate intensity aerobic zone. This triggers the release of nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes blood vessel walls, reduces arterial inflammation, and prevents the small blood clots responsible for most ischemic strokes. Finding your golden pace is simple. Walk fast enough that you can still hold a conversation, but you need to pause to take a breath if you try to sing. Your arms should swing naturally, and you should feel genuinely warm within 5 minutes. That is the scientifically validated sweet spot, and everything else in today's video builds on it. 4. The blood pressure effect, your built-in stroke shield. High blood pressure is responsible for approximately 54% of all strokes worldwide, according to the World Stroke Organization. It's the single most significant modifiable stroke risk factor, which means addressing it through daily habits can have an outsized impact on your long-term health. A randomized controlled trial published in PubMed followed adults aged 50 to 65 through a 12-week brisk walking program, just 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. Participants showed significant reductions in both systolic and diastolic blood pressure, and a measurable drop in their calculated 10-year stroke risk. Research in clinical and experimental hypertension found that consistent aerobic walking decreases norepinephrine, a stress hormone that constricts blood vessels, by around 30%, directly lowering resting blood pressure. The protocol is straightforward: 5 days per week, 20 to 30 minutes of brisk walking. Research confirms that 2 10-minute sessions deliver nearly the same cardiovascular benefit as one continuous 20-minute session, which is great news if your schedule is unpredictable. Start tracking your blood pressure now. Most people see measurable change within 6 to 8 weeks of consistent walking. 3. The brain rewiring effect, building a stroke-resistant mind. Brisk walking doesn't just protect your arteries, it physically builds new ones inside your brain. Scientists call this angiogenesis, and it is one of the most powerful mechanisms in stroke prevention neuroscience. More blood vessels mean more redundancy, so if one pathway is blocked, your brain has alternative routes to keep critical regions alive. The National Institute on Aging has confirmed that brisk aerobic walking provides greater cognitive protection than non-aerobic activities like stretching or strength training alone, specifically because of its effects on cerebral blood flow. Research from the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology found that each additional 1,000 daily steps was associated with a 24.6% reduced stroke risk, confirmed across a study of 37,000 participants. That's a staggering number from a single lifestyle change. To amplify this brain benefit, vary your route. Walking in natural environments, parks, trails, tree-lined streets, has been shown in studies from Japan and Germany to reduce cortisol levels by up to 12% compared to urban environments, further reducing the vascular inflammation linked to stroke. Even small doses of greenery make a measurable difference. Before we continue, if you're finding this valuable, hit that like button so more seniors can see it, and subscribe. We post powerful senior health videos every single day, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Number 2. The consistency code, daily beats intense. Here's where most fitness advice gets it completely wrong. Many people believe that intense, infrequent exercise is more protective than moderate daily activity. The research tells a very different story, especially for adults over 60. A landmark analysis from Cambridge University's Medical Research Council examined 196 peer-reviewed studies covering over 30 million participants. Their conclusion was clear: 150 minutes of moderate physical activity per week, around 20 minutes a day, significantly reduced cardiovascular disease risk, and consistency was the single most important driver of that protection. A separate study published in the journal Stroke, following 4,252 men over nearly 11 years, found that those who walked 4 to 7 hours per week had meaningfully lower stroke incidence than those walking fewer than 3 hours, and the protective effect was tied to regularity, not intensity. Here's a simple consistency system. Pick a fixed time each day. Morning walks show the best adherence rates in studies of adults over 60. Use your phone's step counter and aim for 2,000 to 3,000 brisk steps per session. Mark it on a calendar. Research from University College London found it takes an average of 66 days to make a new behavior automatic. Commit to that window and this habit will eventually run on autopilot. And now for the number 1 most important strategy, the one that works all the way down to your DNA. Number 1. The vascular transformation. How walking rewires your circulatory system. Everything we've covered today, the pace, the blood pressure drops, the brain changes, the consistency, all leads to this central truth. A brisk 20-minute daily walk fundamentally transforms the health of your vascular endothelium. That's the paper-thin inner lining of your blood vessels, and it is your body's primary defense against stroke. When it's healthy, clots don't form. Plaques don't rupture. Blood flows freely to your brain. A review published in PMC found that age-related endothelial dysfunction is a primary driver of stroke risk, and that moderate aerobic exercise like brisk walking promotes an anti-inflammatory gene expression profile inside your blood vessel walls. In plain terms, walking literally changes how your genes behave. It boosts nitric oxide production, stimulates the formation of new capillaries, and reduces the inflammatory markers that cause arterial plaques to become dangerous. The numbers are compelling. The UCLA Health data showed a 40% stroke risk reduction with daily brisk walking. Harvard Health research found that brisk walkers have a 43% lower risk of abnormal heart rhythms, a major stroke trigger, compared to slow walkers. And the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology linked just 80 steps per minute to a 30% reduction in major cardiovascular events. Here is your complete golden pace protocol. Walk 20 minutes at least 5 days per week at roughly 100 steps per minute, fast enough to feel warm, slow enough to hold a conversation. Swing your arms naturally. Research shows this boosts your caloric and cardiovascular output by up to 10% with no added joint stress. Breathe through your nose when possible to maximize nitric oxide absorption. Drink 8 ounces of water before you head out and 8 ounces when you return. Even mild dehydration thickens the blood and raises clotting risk. And track your progress with a simple step counter or calendar. What gets measured gets done. If you have a history of cardiac events, joint surgery, or balance issues, please consult your physician before starting. This information is educational and is intended to complement, not replace, the guidance of your personal healthcare provider. Here's the bottom line. Research from Cambridge University, UCLA Health, Harvard Medical School, and the European Journal of Preventive Cardiology all points to the same extraordinary conclusion. The most accessible, most affordable stroke prevention tool you have is a 20-minute brisk walk, done consistently, at the right pace, every day. If you know someone over 60 who could benefit from this, please share this video with them right now. Print out the 5 steps and put them somewhere visible: your fridge, your bathroom mirror, your front door. And always pair this with regular checkups and open conversations with your doctor. Now, we want to hear from you. Have you ever made walking a daily habit? Did you notice a difference in how you felt, how you slept, or how your blood pressure looked at your next appointment? Share your story in the comments below. Your experience might just save someone else's life. Thanks for watching.